Welcome to MojoPlays. Today, we're looking ahead at the most exciting JRPGs expected to drop in 2020 or soon after. While some games are already available in certain countries, the focus is on Western releases. As always, I'm on Twitter at AshJBo, so head over there, give me a follow, and let me know which JRPG you're looking forward to the most.
Vegeta, do not mock me! You've got no hope of beating me.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Fairytale. While many anime to video game adaptations have stuck to fighters and musos in recent years, this shonen classic is taking the traditional RPG route instead. Enlisting Gust, the studio behind the popular Atelier JRPG series, to take charge, Fairytale 2020 seems to have the tools it needs to do the series justice. While details have been scant, it's said the game follows some of the key arcs of the anime, including that of the Grand Magic games and Tartarus stories. There's also a promise of over 10 playable characters, so you can likely rest easy with the knowledge that you can take control of your favorite guild member. I'm looking at you, Urza. Digimon Survive. If nothing else, Digimon can't be accused of playing it safe. Cyber Sleuth and its sequel were traditional turn-based JRPGs with a catch-em-all mentality and a heavy focus on story. Conversely, Next Order features real-time gameplay reminiscent of the original Digimon world on the PlayStation 1. So naturally, the franchise's next big project will be a strategy RPG with survival elements.
進化を続けているとこのエナジー消費してしまうんですけれども、その分そのモンスターで敵の弱点をついたりとか。
Planned as a celebration of the 20-year anniversary of the Digimon anime, Survive follows a group of teenagers, Digidestined perhaps, who are unexpectedly transported to the digital world. The visuals look set to be a few notches above what is standard for a Digimon property. More importantly, Survive will emphasize player choice, as the game seeks to truly feel like an adventure. Bravely Default 2.
Accept your fate and await oblivion. Or make a stand and fight for survival.
Announced at the 2019 Game Awards, Bravely Default 2 will be coming to the Nintendo Switch with an expected release date sometime in 2020. Despite the name, this is the third entry in the series, even if the upcoming JRPG is being billed as a successor to 2012's Bravely Default. Along with a shift in hardware, Bravely Default 2 takes place in a new world away from Luxembourg and boasts a cast of fresh faces, although Square Enix's Team Asano is once again working on the license. Considering it will be released on the Switch and looks set to do its own thing, Bravely Default 2 should be accessible for veterans and newcomers to the franchise.
Step into the light, young hero. Be brave.
Phantasy Star Online 2. Bizarrely enough, one of the most highly anticipated JRPGs of 2020 predates the current console generation, albeit exclusively in Japan. After nearly a decade of disappointment and seemingly false hope, at E3 2019, Microsoft announced that an English version of Phantasy Star Online 2, Sega's free-to-play online RPG, was finally on the way. As an action MMO, Phantasy Star Online 2 is designed to be played indefinitely, especially since the North American version has 8 years worth of updates and expansions to fall back on. Phantasy Star Online set the pace for online console RPGs, and the sequel's port has been a long time coming. Yakuza, Like a Dragon.
すまねえな、イチ。死んでくれ。
While the previous entries were mostly story-driven adventure games with some role-playing mechanics, Yakuza Like a Dragon is a full-blown JRPG. Sega's splendidly written, frequently weird, and always badass Yakuza franchise is dropping its arcade-style beat-em-up gameplay for turn-based combat featuring teams of up to 4 members.
ぶちかますぜ。攻撃、防御、逃げるだけじゃない。 シリーズおなじみのヒートアクションも
Boasting a job system, summons, and special Kiwami skills, Like a Dragon's combat seems like a strange but awesome blend of classic Dragon Quest and Yakuza's over-the-top B-movie charm. The changes don't end at the gameplay either, as Like a Dragon also introduces a new protagonist and setting.
龍が如くセブン、光と闇の行方
Vice 9, Monstrum Nox. Debuting in 2019 in Japan, Vice 9, Monstrum Nox is the latest entry in Falcom's iconic action JRPG franchise. Vice has been a staple of the genre since the 80s, and considering the last 4 mainline entries were ultimately brought to the West, it is hopefully only a matter of time before the 9th game follows suit. Set in a prison-themed city that has seen the sudden rise of supernaturally powered beings known as Monstrums, Vice 9 starts with the franchise protagonist, Adol Kristen, being falsely accused of a crime against the state. Adol is joined in his quest by primarily Monstrum characters, who also have special abilities that affect the fast-paced combat and exploration. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Dad!
Gohan, here you go. It's a senzu bean.
My dad finally did it! He's become a Super Saiyan!
After the brilliant Dragon Ball fighters, Bandai's decision to take Akira Toriyama's franchise in a completely different direction makes sense. RPG Dragon Ball games are not unheard of, but most are either on handheld devices or quite old, so Kakarot feels like a breath of fresh air, even if it will once again retread the manga's story arcs.
I'd be afraid to fight someone like that!
You know, I bet you'd be just fine if you trained yourself up a bit.
Divided into explorable areas gated by the story's development, Kakarot's RPG progression system tries to stick true to the anime. That means characters mainly grow stronger and unlock new skills through fighting, training, and eating, although a social component also plays a part. The combat takes a few nods from the Xenoverse series' simplistic but enjoyable fighting mechanics, which certainly can't be a bad thing. Tales of Arise. Putting aside some questionable sequels and a couple of divisive entries like Zestiria, the Tales of franchise has been a consistent source of action JRPG goodness for the best part of 2 decades. The next entry in the series, Arise, looks especially interesting, as it seems set to build on the more mature tone of the previous mainline entry in the series, Tales of Berseria. Centering around 2 neighboring worlds defined by a power imbalance that allowed Rena to treat Dana's citizens as slaves, Arise looks set to explore themes relating to social class, the status quo, and evolution. Fittingly enough, Arise's greatest challenge is finding the right balance between familiarity and innovation, especially when it comes to Tales of's linear motion battle system.
自由に生きるためだ。
まさに道なき道ね。
Trials of Mana.
Stronger than you think!
While a great JRPG, 1995's Trials of Mana flew under the radar due to a Western version not coming out until 2019. Even if the Switch's collection of mana is worth picking up to experience the original game, 2020's remake is an entirely different beast, albeit just as exciting. Somewhat similar to the Secret of Mana remake, Trials of Mana retells the classic JRPG using shiny new 3D visuals. Unlike the remake of its predecessor, 2020's release will also modernize the gameplay and many other facets of the total package, so Trials of Mana should not feel as antiquated.
Their world will be born anew. Trials of Mana.
Shin Megami Tensei 5. Atlas knows a thing or two about crafting masterful JRPGs. Although Persona 5 filled the void stylishly, it is about time a new mainline entry in the Megami Tensei franchise is released. Announced in 2017 for the Nintendo Switch, Shin Megami Tensei 5 should once again see a contemporary setting intertwined with the demonic and post-apocalyptic. While information is scarce, Shin Megami Tensei 5's development team has expressed a desire to reflect the current social climate and economic issues. Going by the previous entries in the franchise, expect challenging turn-based combat, addictive demon taming and fusing systems, and a visual delight that oozes personality and atmosphere. Final Fantasy VII Remake.
These sewer rats appear to call themselves Avalanche, sir.
Revealed at E3 2015 before apparently dropping off the face of the earth, Final Fantasy VII Remake finally has an official release date. 1997's original is hailed as a gaming classic, one that helped introduce many to the JRPG genre, so anything short of brilliance will be a downgrade. Striking visuals are to be expected of a Final Fantasy game, but the remake offers more than just a fresh coat of paint. Rather than being turn-based, the remake opts for real-time combat, with the option to pause the action to perform non-basic skills, sort of like a more strategic version of Final Fantasy XV's system. As the campaign will be divided into parts, this will hopefully translate to an even more in-depth exploration of the individual areas, themes, and characters. It's Final Fantasy VII, so of course, the hype is real.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.